appreciate that. They're not compensated. They take the work for nothing. And just recognize that, they're giving their service to our county. And with that, I'd like to recognize Bob Snyder, the new chairman of the IDA.
Thank you, Chairman Speenberg. I'd really like to thank everybody very much for meeting with us this evening. As new elected chairman of the IDA, it's an honor to be addressing all of you this evening. I know there's a major issue at hand, and we want to get to the bottom of it. We want to get it resolved. We want to get over with it so that we can go forward for the county and the people of this county. Those of you who know me, I take this position very seriously, and I want to do what's best for our entire county, the whole county. I want to be honest, sincere, to the point. I want nothing more than to resolve this major issue at hand. We as the IDA hear you, loud and clear. We understand your concerns. And our major concerns, and we want to get them put to bed. I think the only way that we can do that is by having this meeting and working together and move forward in the future. I also want all of you to know we want to work with you and not against you. We don't want any animosity. I know there's some animosity. We want to put all that aside. We want to put that to bed. We want to get all this put aside so that we can move forward. Having been on the IDA board for less than a year, I'm at a great disadvantage of how the bonus structure was set up and how Mr. Mathis was to be compensated. In saying that, I would like to turn this over to Paul Bowman to lead the presentation. Not as our attorney. We want Paul to go through all this because he has the most knowledge of how this structure was set up and how Sandy is to be compensated. And he could answer the questions better than I can because he's been here longest. And to be honest with you, he's done a great job since I've been a member of the IDA. And I respect him. I believe he works very hard for this county, as well as every board member on the IDA. I want to thank you again and hope this is a very productive evening. And I mean everything from the bottom of my heart. I want to get this put to bed and get everybody back on the same page because there's too much positive energy from your group and the IDA that's not going to where it should be going to the people of this county. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Paul Gold. You know me. I've had a long history with the IDA, been involved with this IDA since 1993. I want to thank you, first of all. Many of you I know in different capacities that I've had the opportunity to represent this county in what I think is probably one of the most significant parts of my legal career. I've had the opportunity to meet and work with all of you in different capacities. We may not have always agreed, but we always were able to communicate, and I offer you my sincere thanks for having the opportunity to work for Greene County, something that I value very much personally. So, that being said, I kind of want to tell you who I am and how I got here. I came to the IDA in 1993, and at that time I acted as bond counsel on 2 projects in the town of Catskill: Pavilion, assisted living facility, and Green Healthcare. We had a part-time director, Joe Spence, who was a very, very fine person. He was paid $3,000. We were the IDA of nothing. And I have experience, just so everyone knows, as an attorney, I have worked with IDAs across the state. I've represented developers, so I've had experience all around the state. That led, in 1993, we would periodically have a meeting. There was several people, And then 1997, the economy, 1998, the economy picked up. I want to talk about missed opportunities. We were the finalists in the targeted ACE facilities that ended up going to an exit 15 in the town board. At that time, Chairman Willis Vermillion and myself, Cy Lucia was the town supervisor, met the target. And we put together a very, very aggressive pilot proposal, a 25-year fixed pilot, just to have some incentive at that property where green business in Falkirk is. We went and presented it, and what I realized is that we weren't even in the game. I realized, as being part of this community, that we had good opportunity, we had good land, but we weren't part of the game because we were not ready. Target wasn't interested in a no tax deal or a free tax deal. What they were interested in is they needed to move to have a facility, they needed to move there. And that kind of generated the concept of being shovel ready. We kind of morphed into it because we were kind of part-time. We lost the opportunities to target an A's because we didn't have children on those checklists. We were, people, in Greene County were kind of neither here nor there. We're not in the capital region. Some people don't consider us that. We're not in the Hudson Valley. We lost those two opportunities and they went to Wilton. So Wilson and I sat down and kind of did some head banging and said, what do we do? How do we get ourselves to where we have to be? And remember, Greene County was always kept at a competitive disadvantage. We were one of 2 counties in New York State, if you can believe this, that did not have an Empire Zone. 2 counties. Little Greene County and Rockland County. I don't know how that occurred, but that was us. No one wanted to come to this county. Significant point is where the next line says no developers would work in Greene County. No developers would come to Greene County. BBL had a facility in Coxsackie. But what they would do is take their clients up to Albany, closer to the rest of the community. No one would represent the county better than us. And so we were losing out on opportunities, and we really weren't even in the game. It's important to remember where we've been to where we've gone. And I think that's kind of the context of what I wanted to discuss tonight. This county made a brave and bold investment of $2 million, which turned into the 2 parks called Perfect Green Business. I commend this agency and this body for that, and we now have $12 million of value. But we realized that we were not going to be in the game of getting people to create tax base in our community unless we get shovel-ready land. So our goals became, and how we define success, as jobs, investment, and new taxes. I'd like to highlight to you, 7 significant projects that we've been involved with that we feel, just things that we've done, things I'm proud of. Methodist Jet, Save-A-Lot, Serta, Peckham, and DuPont. Those were existing companies. They were companies that had roots in this community that became at-risk communities. They were ready to leave. Empire Merchants North was a tremendous success. And we'll get into answering the questions that were raised by our chairman here, which is the 2008 bonus and what was, under our regular salary. And Stiefel, which I think is a tremendous success as to what's happening here. Okay. What is an IDA? What's the traditional role of an IDA? The traditional role of an IDA, you go to the city of Albany. They collect applications from people who have their own developers. They turn it over and give tax benefits. Sales tax, mortgage tax, pilot. That's what we do. That's one function. But the problem is, we didn't have development activity. So we had to become something different. That's the traditional role of an IDA. It's just those 3 things. Lawyers get paid, the IDA gets money, and that's how it works. Albany, City of Albany has got a lot of not-for-profit activity. Most IDAs, I'd say 99% of the IDAs, do not act as a developer. And they got plenty of developers who will do it. They don't want to compete with the private sector. And we are in Greene County with no developers. BBL had land in Coxsackie, and they did not work that way. That's where we found ourselves. So just got to kind of remember where we've been. So we kind of concluded, it was kind of came to us just kind of over time. We needed a new approach. We weren't even in the game. And that's kind of how we got to where we got to with the purchase of Falkirk, Green Business, and the notion that we needed to have real-time opportunity, that when a person, a user came to our community, to our door, we could say, here it is, you can pull a building permit in 30 days. Remember, the goal is jobs, investment, and taxes. That's what our goal was, and that's where we became. Okay, so that's a little bit of our background. When our current executive director came to us, I think it was 2002, we were not fully entitled with Falkirk and Green Business. We had purchased the properties, we had Army Corps issues, we were not ready to go. That's where we were.